Hello, this is Reese Deans of the Deansy Boys Show, and I am here for the Wrestling Corner, here to talk about the art of professional wrestling, here to talk about the news of professional wrestling, what has been going on recently, inside, behind the scenes, inside the ring, you name it, we're here to talk about it, and I am here to tell you that I am here once again for a brand new episode of the Wrestling Corner. And now recently we've had WWE Hell in a Cell, we've had people walking out, people becoming champions, people, becoming number one contenders. So I'm going to be talking about some of the top stories that's been happening recently in professional wrestling. And I'm going to start off with WWE Hell in a Cell. I've watched the pay-per-view going a few days back, and I thought it was one of the finest Hell in a Cell pay-per-views that I've ever watched since The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar one. Some people may agree or disagree, but I thought it was the best one they've had in a long time. I was more bragging about the two Hell in a Cell matches rather than the other matches itself. I mean, I'm more of a big Shinsuke Nakamura fan, but I had no time. Didn't have the patience to watch the Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura match. I thought the triple threat match with Baron Corbin winning it, I thought that was actually really good. I thought that AJ Styles, losing the title to Baron Corbin, another future wrestler coming in. I thought it was a clever booking. Some may agree, but I just thought it was a really good idea. And I hope to see what they could. I'm really interested in what they're going to see, what they're going to do with Baron Corbin. So I'm just going to leave that for now. But what caught my attention were the two Hell in a Cell matches: the one with the New Day versus the Usos, and the other one with being Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. And then I just have to talk about the tag team Hell in a Cell match. It was just phenomenal. It was absolutely brilliant. But the one thing I got a problem with that match was that there was just too many Singapore canes. I thought they used too many of those. I think they're just getting overused. I think they're the most overrated signature weapon in WWE now, especially if they go into a street fight or if they go into any type of hardcore match. I like to see them use different weapons instead of using Singapore canes. I mean, keep using them by all means, but once you start using too many Singapore canes, you're just insulting the fans' intelligence to say, all right, they're just going to keep it too safe. I mean, I know a Singapore cane's not nice. It'll leave you marks. It'll make you bleed and all that sort of thing. I mean, I haven't took one to myself. I own one. I own a Singapore cane. I'm not lying. I actually do own one. It was at a wrestling event. It was Jimmy Havoc versus Mike Bird. And what happened was Jimmy Havoc was using it on Mike Bird, and he threw it in the audience, and I seemed to catch it, and I actually snuck it out of the building with me. So yeah, I own a Singapore King. But going back to the match, I thought all the bumps they took, all the moves they done, the moments, the how do I put it? The impact of the match was just phenomenal. It was one of the best tag team matches I've seen so far in recent months as a wrestling fan. I liked how the New Day and the Usos just thought, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go all out. It's a Hell in a Cell match. Let's just give the people what they want. And I just really enjoyed how those tag teams actually got the best out of that match, especially going back, where the New Day and the Usos didn't have a good reception with the WWE fans, but along the line they have seemed to have grown on them, and people start to like them because at the end of the day they are very talented wrestlers. I mean, the Usos have got a terrific wrestling background, but the Usos have got what the New Day got is that they got. Well, actually, I don't know what they got. I just think it should be the other way around. The New Day have not got what the Usos got, and that's family background of proper professional wrestling. But in all, I thought it was a very fantastic match. I thought it was stunning. It was superb, well done. The moves, I could have hardly seen a botch, but it was absolutely phenomenal. And especially how Kofi Kingston was not in the match entirely, just simply made it even better to have Xavier Woods go in there and just show what he can do. And I think that's a very terrific idea, to let Xavier Woods show what he could do. Especially that I've seen him in TNA as well, what he can do. It is really good to see him do that. So all in all, I thought the tag team Hell in a Cell match for the tag titles were were fantastic, especially for the Usos to win it. I think that was a great idea to give them back the titles. That way, the New Day can go off and do what they want to do. Or hopefully, they won't split. They will split. I don't know, but it's given the opportunity for other tag team wrestlers, and they were actually using that in the storyline, so it was really good. And especially now that Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are now the number one contenders, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Usos and Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable could do. But hopefully, I'd like to see Shelton Benjamin go off and do singles competition, not as a jobber to get people over or anything like that, but probably hopefully a United States opportunity or even a WWE title match. That would be good, for Shelton Benjamin to finish off his career as a WWE champion. But we'll have to see. For the main event as well, I was just completely blown away by what Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens done. I knew what Shane McMahon could do. He was going to jump off of Hell in a Cell. I knew he was going to do all these moves, the coast-to-coast move. But one thing I was really disappointed at was it was the fact that whenever Shane McMahon does a shooting star press, he always misses and he always lands on his knees, and I just don't like that. It's not the fact that he always misses. It's the fact that he's always landing on his knees, and it could never be as good to land on your knees. But I like to see him connect it with a wrestler one day and make him finish on that. It would be really good and fantastic for Shane McMahon to actually use that move and actually get the win. I like to see Shane McMahon win a match now. I know authority figures, when it comes to storylines, they can't win, but just for one-off, I'd like to see Shane McMahon win a match in the long term, because with Shane McMahon, everyone loves him, but people are going to start disliking him because he's losing matches. I know, but the reason why people still love him is because he's willing to take bumps. He's willing to take bumps that no other wrestler could do. He's the true knowledge of professional wrestling, and he has got a business sense. Unlike Stephanie McMahon and his father, that he knows wrestling inside and out. But then again, so does Triple H, and that's why there's a conflict between those two. But we don't know what's going on backstage. Probably a lot of jealousy, but hey yo. I thought the match was slow. It was a lot slower than the New Day versus the Usos were. But then again, it was a tag team match, so it was more sharing the bumps and the moments. And with Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens, it was a little bit slow. I can understand if it was coming from Shane McMahon, but I thought the match itself, it was really good. It was awesome. From what the fans were saying, it was a very good match. And I remember when they were going on top of the Hell in a Cell, and they were just literally, Kevin Owens was taking the bumps, and Shane McMahon hurting his head, proper legitimate after doing a move on Kevin Owens. I even thought that they were going to go through the cell. I thought, Jesus Christ, they're going to die in a minute if they don't get off that cell, if they start bumping. And I thought it was awesome. And what I thought was really good as well is that Sami Zayn came out and I was speaking to my mate Gareth about it, and he said it wasn't a proper heel turn. All he did was just put Kevin Owens out of the way when Shane McMahon came down from the cell, and she pinned him. And the reaction that Sami Zayn done, it felt as though that he was just crying. He thought it wasn't. It was more of a what have I done situation rather than I did it. Yeah, it was all me. Ha. But and then he just turned around and said, I want my friend back. And I thought, well, let's hope and see what they could do with Sami Zayn. I just hope now they give him a better push than he's been given recently, because Sami Zayn is a credit to professional wrestling, and he deserves a title opportunity, whether or not it's a United States, Intercontinental, WWE title. I think he's got a long way to go for a WWE Championship match, but for a United States title shot, I mean, it is worth it for Sami Zayn. It can give him a boost up as a performer and as a name for the long terms. But if it doesn't, then all I can recommend Sami Zayn is to go to the Indies. That's all I can say about that. But all in all, the Hell in a Cell matches were fantastic. It made what Hell in a Cell pay-per-view should be about. Maybe the next time Hell in a Cell is on pay-per-view and all that sort of thing, bring some blood into it. Just do it. Bring some blood in. But that's all I got to say on the Hell in a Cell match. But moving on to Monday Night Raw, the Shield are back. The Shield have returned. They've been teasing about it for some time, and now it's building up to a TLC match between the Shield versus Braun Strowman, The Miz, Sheamus, and Cesaro. I was going to say Cesaro, but actually that could be a good tag team name, Cesaro. But that sounds like a fancy dinner plate when you go to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, like here's a Cesaro, or even, it sounds like a beer as well, Cesaro, like a Shinzano. I don't know, but I can't wait for that match, I think it's going to be a lot of bumps, and if the shit, I'm actually conflicted on what's going to happen at that match, I don't know if it's going to be someone going to turn on against each other. I don't know if the Shields are going to win because it's a 4-on-3. I know that they say it all the time, but to make the Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns look big, it's going to happen. But I thought they were just going to have if that's going to be the main event, then that's a perfect main event. But I would have rather had like the Miz go up against 5 other opponents to make the Intercontinental title worth something now, because I feel like the Intercontinental title is not feeling as important now than it was before. I know the Miz is making it look like it's a big deal, it's untouchable because he's not performing it, but just once in a blue moon, can he just please defend it now? I mean, a lot of people are criticising Brock Lesnar for not defending the Universal title until the next pay-per-view, but you've got to understand that when you're defending a title, and it's considered untouchable, it makes it worth something even more, and the way Brock Lesnar's been booked, it's more of an untouchable, dominant force, that he's got this precious gold. He's like a dragon, and like a Bilbo Baggins kind of character's got to come in and defeat the mighty Smaug. That's what it's like. It's like the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings kind of storyline to it, but there's no such thing as hobbits or anything that mystical being-esque storyline to it. But I can understand where they're coming from with Brock Lesnar. So it's same with the Miz. I just like to see him defend the title and see how it goes from there. And now I've heard that breaking news that came in, I think last night or something, that Neville has reportedly quit the WWE. I was informed on Twitter that Neville was supposed to go up against Enzo Amore a day after on Raw, and he was supposed to lose, but Neville said he refused, and he said he quit. So if he does, he'll be brilliant in New Japan Pro Wrestling. For as a member in the Bullet Club, I don't know. I don't think so. He can go back and do a lot of independent stuff in the UK, especially in WCPW, but that's another thing to talk about. I'll probably talk about that in the next episode, but for right now, I want to talk about what's happened after Hell in Cell and on Monday Night Raw. This is what I want to talk about. But yeah, so Neville has just quit. He said no, he's not doing it. And for Kalisto to come in, become the Cruiserweight Champion, I thought that was a good move. But it would have been a lot better if Neville didn't quit. I mean, to bring Kalisto in, it would have been a terrific title match between Kalisto and Neville, because they could do a lot of things with the title. And I remember having this little dream match with Kalisto versus Neville on the WWE 2K17, and now it's going into 18. I might as well get in and have that dream match again, because it'll be such a good cruiserweight match, and it'll be what defines the cruiserweight division. Even bring Enzo Amore into the picture, it'll be classic, and I thought that was going to happen, but clearly it's not. It's not going to happen, and I'm a bit disappointed in that. But if it's something that makes Neville decide to quit, because he feels like he's not getting enough jobs or he's not getting the push he deserves, then fair enough. He can go off and do his own thing. I think that's why Austin Aries left, because he felt that 205 Live was not for him. He should have been called up to the main roster to go and go against the Miz for the Intercontinental title. I thought Austin Aries was going to go down that line anyway, but go and put him up against in the Cruiserweight division, I thought that it wasn't the best decision they ever made with Austin Aries, so I can understand that Austin Aries left the company for that reason. So it's probably similar to Neville. He thought, no, it's not worth it for me, not my time anymore. But but it's well, you got the Shield coming back, but now Neville's leaving, so the Cruiserweight division is in the hands of Kalisto and Enzo Amore. Let's see what they go from there. I haven't really been catching up on a lot of wrestling recently, just because I've been really busy, but, all in all, I think it's been a bit of a tight situation with Sami Zayn becoming Shield, the Shield's returning, Neville leaving, Kalisto Cruiserweight Champion, and then you got this 4-on-3 handicap match with the TLC. I just can't wait for Survivor Series. The one thing I've said in the last episode, in episode 1, was John Cena should go up against The Undertaker, but I'm gonna have to wait and see how they build up for Survivor Series, and it's gonna be good. I'm watching it with James Clemens and his mates, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be something really worth watching. But all in all, I think that's what I got time for here, because I told you I was going to keep it short and sweet, so I'm going to just keep it under 16 minutes or something like that. But I'm going to have to cut it off here for now and just leave it to the next episode 3, where I'll talk about more on woke culture, what's happening there, and see what's going on in the wrestling world today. But all in all, this has been the Wrasslin Corner. I've been your host, Rhys Steens, and thank you for listening. And hopefully you give me a follow on Twitter, share, like this video, subscribe, do whatever you want. But thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time just to listen to this podcast. And I hope to see you on the next video. I hope to speak to you soon on the podcast. So this has been the Wrasslin Corner. My name is Rhys Steens, and I'll see you very soon.